XXXTentacion confessed to domestic abuse and other violent crimes in newly obtained secret recording. This was an article that was posted by Pitchfork just several days ago, where they released about a minute-long audio of a 27-minute conversation X was having with some people. And what I want to discuss is this article, but mostly I'd like to talk about a video that was done by d.respect News in response to this article. You're not going to get impartial news from an outlet that starts off a video with a shout out from one of the subjects of the story that they are discussing.
Shouts out to d.respect News. That's that nigga, man. Hey.
Could you imagine Fox News starting off one of their shows with a Donald Trump shout out? You know, big shout out to Fox News. You wouldn't take it seriously because you would know that after that point, everything that they say is so biased and so in favor of Trump that it's basically a propaganda piece. Now, we all know that the news is leaning towards certain ways. If you listen to MSNBC, we know their leanings. If we listen to Fox, we know their leanings, but they don't make it so blatant. We all know that they're pandering to certain demographic of people, but they try to not make it seem so blatant. You know, media is very broken, but at the very least, they don't make it so obvious. Now, the way Dom frames this is very serving to X. You know, what you basically have in this 27-minute conversation is you have X pleading to what sounds like 2 to 3 people. He's pleading to these people about wanting to speak to his girlfriend, and they are basically denying him access to speak to her because, well, we'll get to the reasons why, but he's speaking to these 2 people, and the way Dom frames it is that he was secretly recorded by his friends.
X didn't know this, but the people in his house, the people that he called friends, the people that he was speaking to, they were secretly recording him, okay?
2 things that I got from this audio amongst many other things. Number 1, these people sound more like acquaintances. There is one point in the audio where girl number 1 says, "I don't even know you like that."
But, bro, like, I don't know what you want to do because I don't even know you like that.
And number 2, this isn't X's house. It's not his place. It seems like it belongs to the couple, or they sound like a couple, to the man and the woman that are speaking to him.
I'm not going to put my hands on her. As I said, I respect y'all house. I just did something that was completely crazy as fuck. That is it for the night. Or at all.
So when you frame it like that, when you start off the video by saying that he was betrayed by his friends in his own house, we all know that this is speaking to the core of the X fan, a fan who's probably grieving, you know, a fan who's hurt by this and they don't really understand what's going on.
I had a feeling they were up to something because I said, guys, wait, hold up. We don't know if X was remorseful before he said any of that stuff. We don't know what was going on because it seems like it was taken out of context. And I told you guys that. And guess what? I end up hearing the full audio, and that's exactly what happened.
Dom uses this word remorseful, you know, by saying that we don't know if he was remorseful about the things that he had to say. And that in some way is proving that Pitchfork was dishonest about what they had delivered. But I want you to listen to the audio of X discussing his stabbings. I want you to listen to the wording.
Some of you seen me. You know what I do to people. Will know, all of them boys know. It's on fucking New Times. I'm on New Times for stabbing how many people they put in the news. They said 3, it was 8. In Deerfield. She know that. She seen the shit. She seen when I came back from stabbing tables. Remember the shit in Orlando? She seen when I came back. I had a brand new laptop. With no tears on my face, no remorse. I just knew I was going to jail. She knew. So she's scared. She thinks I'm gonna kill her.
Right? So he says no remorse. If someone isn't remorseful about stabbing 8 people, what makes you think they would be remorseful about hitting a woman? Dom's reaction to this should be, okay, stabbing people is bad. you should not stab people. But after hearing the 27-minute audio, which he claims that he's heard, this is what he got from it.
After listening to the minute and a half audio where X is claiming that he stabbed up 8 or 9 people or whatever the case is, and he's talking so braggadocious and monstrous, I'm hearing from people that the people that he stabbed up were people that were trying to jump him and his friend. X wasn't going around like freaking Jason or Michael Myers just stabbing people for no reason. Like, these were people that were trying to jump him, and he pulled out a weapon to defend himself. Okay?
First off, this is what Pitchfork said. January 21st, 2016, a local Florida newspaper reported that police were, quote, searching for the person who stabbed 3 people during a fight in Deerfield Beach, end quote. There is no record of anyone being charged with the stabbing, but a Broward County Sheriff's Office reported from the incident states that a witness, quote, saw an unknown black male with tattoos, stabbing people in multiple directions, right? Okay, end quote. Now, the Pitchfork article mentioned a fight, and Dom mentioned a fight, but Dom somehow is confusing the fact that he is defending X and describing in his defense, saying that, well, he was fighting because he was protecting his friends. That's irrelevant. You are no longer delivering the news. Now what you're doing is just protecting your friend. Pitchfork isn't going to say a fight and then in parentheses say, but he was protecting his friends, so stabbing is okay. That's not remaining impartial. What you're doing is not being impartial. What you're doing is saying that they're not defending him, so they're delivering it in a dishonest way. No, that's your job. Your job is to deliver it in a dishonest way. That's not what they're doing. If they already stated that it was a fight, then that in and of itself already says that he wasn't randomly going around and stabbing people. There was nothing in the article that suggested that he was a madman that was just went on a stabbing spree. I mean, and another thing is, who wouldn't stab people and have some sort of a reason why? Reasons don't mean anything. Psychopaths have reasons. If a psychopath kills 10 people and they justify it, they could say, well, I justified it because I'm upset with the political system. I'm upset with the political system, so I decided to stab 10 people. You'll find somebody who's going to defend it, but that doesn't make it right. People can always justify the things that they do. So the fact that X has a reason as to why he stabbed people, it doesn't matter. Of course there's a reason. Everybody has a reason to justify something. If you're trying to jump me, I stab you. That doesn't take away from the fact that I stabbed someone. What we have here is 2 different arguments that are taken by Dom. In the very first example with the remorse comment, it's a moral argument that he is taking. He's taking a moral argument of, well, we don't know how he felt or after he had done these things. And now with the whole stabbing issue, you already know that he confessed to stabbing someone. And now it's like you move the goalpost. You say, well, okay, he stabbed someone, but this was his reason. I mean, come on. They were trying to jump him. We're jumping from one thing to the next. And again, it just sounds like you defending your friend. And there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. I don't know what relationship Dom has to X or X's his people, or because basically he's basically become a mouthpiece for the X estate. That's what it seems like. If it's anybody, it's Dom is Live News. And I'm not criticizing that. But what I'm saying is that Dom is so dishonest about it. He still wants to come forth to all of us as if he's being very, as if he's being very honest about how he's divulging this information. And he's either too stupid to realize that this doesn't make any sense, or he's willing to go through any lengths to protect XXX and to protect his meal ticket, to protect this wave of fandom that he has benefited from. So that's the first tactic is the moral discussion that he's arguing. you know? And the second one is the legal argument. You'll see it here in this clip where he's basically saying that X didn't technically confess to hitting her.
I believe that word is for something else. I can't go around telling people, hey, the definition of that is this, and no, it doesn't work that way. We all got different definitions of what that could mean. He could mean mentally. He never once said in the audio that he hit her.
So now it's about a technicality. Now it's about what he did not say. When originally we were discussing something that had to do with morals. He's dead. There's no such thing anymore about what is valid in court, what can be proven in court. That's it. He's dead. There is no point to maneuver around this in a legal jargon sort of a aha game, you know, where he didn't say it. Because if we want to do that, there are parts in this audio where you could connect, where there is definitely an implication in X, at least vaguely, not even vaguely, just saying that he used to do this in the past. You'll see here in this clip where Dom is discussing the usage of X saying the words fucked up.
Another thing that was taken out of context is when X says that he fucked her up. Now look, where I come from, when someone's like, yo, man, I fucked someone up. Listen, I'm thinking someone put the damn pause on someone that got the goddamn Conor McGregor special. Now, the word fucked her up could mean something different from X. We all have different meanings of words, right? He could mean that he fucked her up mentally.
So this, again, is his second argument. This is the legal argument of trying to maneuver his way around what was said in the audio and acting as if he is an attorney for the Tentacion estate. But unfortunately, later on in the audio, X is explaining the situation specifically to the male in the room and trying to find some form of kinship by explaining to him that if this were to happen to you, you would react the same way.
But my nigga, you gonna go through the same shit. Somebody gonna hurt you this way, and you're not gonna know how to deal with it. You're not gonna know how to deal with it, because you're not gonna want to walk away, because that's your bitch. You're not gonna walk away. You're not gonna want to consistently hit them, because that shit, it fucked them up, you feel me?
So you heard it there. You can't hit them consistently because it used to fuck them up. You could link this to the audio before where he says, I used to fuck her up. I used to fuck her up. And by fucked up, he means I hit her. So as a cause and effect, I hit her. So then I fucked her up. Dom in his video also discusses fucked up being, mental, possibly. And he says it as if psychological abuse isn't a thing. If he were really listening to the audio, he would know that the clear indication of this audio, beyond the stabbing, which is bad enough, beyond the stabbing, is X basically telling you that his tactic of getting the truth out of her is to psychologically terrify her, to abuse her mentally. In the audio before where he says, well, they're making him seem like he's Michael Myers and he's just walking around stabbing people. No. That's not what Pitchfork did. That's what X did when he was trying to convince the people in the room, this is how I get the truth out of her. You people aren't listening to me. I need to talk to her because she saw the stabbings that I had done. She saw what I did. She knew that I came back. No remorse. This is the same as, as basically taking in terrorists and taking them to Guantanamo and waterboarding them because you want to get the truth out of them. This is abuse, sir. This is what torture is all about. It's perhaps the worst kind of abuse that there is because it's the kind of abuse that lives with a person. Now, the reason why I feel so strongly about this, I'm not even a person that would consider themselves to be a Me Too advocate. I know everything that you see in the news is about, did you hit this woman? Did you rape this woman? Did you assault this woman? Everything is about what we can physically see. physical touch and physical, forcing yourself on another person. But what's not talked about is the psychological. And in this audio, X is basically confirming that he psychologically damaged her, and that's how he got truth out of her. I really need his young audience to listen to me, especially the men. I need the men or the boys to listen to what I'm going to say. You cannot listen to that bit of audio, and I don't care if you're a fan of his. I don't care if he helped you get out of a dark point in your life. You have to look beyond yourself. You have to look beyond yourself when you listen to this, because this is going to affect your interactions with women and what you feel is okay with women. I saw a lot of reactions from this audio when X was sort of telling the other guy in the room, telling him, bro, you've never seen somebody get their tongue cut out, bro. You've never seen somebody be raped right in front of you, bro. It's dark. It's dark. You don't understand. And people relate to that and they say, yes, dark places. Don't be so self-involved. You got to learn to get out of yourself if you want to have a healthy relationship with a person eventually. That's why I'm not hard on X. The point of this video is not to say that X is a terrible person. He was a young man. He was a baby. I'm not here to cast judgment on X. What I'm here to do is to talk to his fans and to tell them that that is not okay to perceive women like that. If a woman cheats on you, she is not your property. And again, I don't say it because I'm a Me Too advocate or because I'm a male feminist. It's because that's the best thing to remember, because it's going to ensure that you forgive peacefully or walk away forever. And when I mean forgive peacefully, that doesn't mean you're not going to curse the person out. Of course, you're going to be upset if somebody cheats on you. There's no person, without an ego or that doesn't hurt, that would just walk away and say, well, that's fine. That basically means you didn't care about the person. But when I say forgive peacefully, it's speak your piece and find out some form of compromise, or don't move forward at all. Unfortunately, for most men, it becomes a property issue, as you heard on the audio where you see X say, it's your bitch, right? It's your car. If I sat in your car, if I sat in your house without you giving me any consent to do so, you have to react, because that is your property. It belongs to you. Unfortunately, when you're with a woman, she does not belong to you.
Flying saucers, iron horses, lying reporters, falsifying sources, ignoring higher forces. Life is all of this, simultaneous. They trying to play with us, just listen to your gut.
Thank you.
Now, during the recording of this video, Dom has dropped yet another video titled The Truth About XXXTentacion Stabbing 8 People and Exposing Pitchfork Confession Recording. Now, what he attempted to do here is double down on his idea that X acted in self-defense. And that's fine. But what he's forgetting here is you're combating what Pitchfork did. You're combating the article, and you're combating the audio that they put out. And you are claiming that it is out of context and there was no context. That is incorrect, sir. In the article, it says, on the tape, in addition to threats against his ex-girlfriend, XXXTentacion also referred to a stabbing incident in Deerfield Beach. Now, we can all agree, if you listen to the video, right, Dom? He said he did it. He said he did it. So what you're still doing is you're still moving the goalpost, and you're saying he didn't admit to slapping his girlfriend or to hitting her. He didn't admit to that. But you heard an admission. You heard him clearly say, and this was not out of context when they put up the audio. The audio wasn't chopped up. This is the raw audio of him saying that he stabbed those people. And now that you have that intel, you're still moving the goalpost even further by showing us a video that somehow exonerates him and proving that it is self-defense. The Pitchfork article is not fighting against that. The Pitchfork article is simply stating what he said in the video. They said he referred to a stabbing. In the title, it says he admitted to domestic abuse and other violent crimes in newly obtained secret recording. Dom, domestic abuse is emotional abuse, psychological abuse. If you want to say that he did not admit to hitting her, that's fine. This isn't a court of law. No one's gonna sit here for hours in detail why technically he is admitting to it. But if you cannot even agree or settle on the fact that he admitted to stabbing people, and you can't just stand firm to that. What you want to do is take it a step further and to try to clear his name by becoming some form of a pseudo attorney online with a video that does nothing but prove that X was at the scene of a crime and some people were stabbed and someone may have said, hey, watch your back.
Every time X makes a move, this guy continues to get behind him. Now, when I play this video, I also want you guys to listen out for the guy that says, watch your back. I want you to keep that in mind. Listen for that and look out for this guy that continues to get behind X in this video. It's unfortunate that Pitchfork would put out that type of propaganda, right? Because if you look at their article, not only does it says that X admitted to domestic abuse, it says that he admitted to other crimes. Since when is defending yourself a crime? Listen, somebody needs to sue these people, man.
And now with the second video, you want to argue, how can somebody confess to a crime when it was self-defense? I don't know, Dom. Ask George Zimmerman. I'm pretty sure you felt like most of us felt that he should have been arrested for that, right? He should have been arrested, but stand your ground rules or laws in Florida protected him, and he could claim self-defense, and we would all agree that he committed a crime. You see, it's just a matter of perspective. What you call your self-defense is what another person calls a crime. So this is becoming so confusing because you're not even sure what you're arguing anymore. You're not even sure what you're fighting for anymore. And listen, I want to tell the people out there that this is important to you now. You know, if you're 14 years old, if you're 15 years old, 16, this is a vital piece of content to you right now, and I'm not dismissing that. What I do want to say is that in the future, you will be digesting news content that will be far more influential to your everyday life than this will be, political issues, economic issues, social issues, things that will actually affect your life. And if you aren't able to tell the difference between a media outlet that is totally biased, I mean, at this point, it's comical. A media outlet that is totally biased, and I get it. Right now, it's all about protecting this artist, and you stand with X, and everything is about him, and he did nothing wrong. We have to be very careful with that, because this is a litmus test. This is a test moving forward on what the generation or how the generation is going to perceive what news is and what honest news is, what truth is. Dom, you cannot continue to infantilize X. You cannot continue to see him in multiple incidents, having fights with people, being out there in stabbings. You can't continue to see somebody in multiple videos where they are at the center of conflict and continue to just overlook logic. And all of a sudden, when you have no argument, you change your argument, the base of your argument, and you infantilize a person just because you are looking to protect your own self-interest. You cannot call yourself the news. You cannot call yourself the media if you do that. That is the opposite of what media is. It is the only thing that you're doing is creating propaganda. It's the only thing that you're doing. You're claiming that Pitchfork is creating propaganda. And I'm not here to protect the mainstream, because that's how Dom is trying to frame this. He's trying to frame this, and this is what propaganda is all about, by the way. Propaganda is all about making the masses feel like there's something to fight for. There is something out there that's out there to get us, and we have to fight. So please share this. There's no propaganda going on the outside. What you have, kids, what you have here is a story that is correlated to something that is very prevalent in today's mainstream news. It's correlated to what's going on right now, right? Brett Kavanaugh, you've got Bill Cosby, you've got all sorts of situations where men have caused harm to women, and this is a hot button issue. This has nothing to do with XXXTentacion. He's not that important in the face of history. He's not that important in the face of the world. It's just not that deep. What it is it's just using clickbait, because the title was clickbait. Of course it was. Everything is clickbait. Everything about most of your videos is clickbait, Dom. When you sensationalize something, not all, I'll be fair. When you want to sensationalize something, you create some form of clickbait to trigger emotion. And the only thing that this article is proving is that you yourself are triggered, which is very interesting to me. It's very interesting to me because what this does is it pretty much just shows what a gossip blog, how they would perceive somebody in their own personal life being persecuted or being wrongfully accused of something. Because the argument is always, well, if it was your family member, if it was your friend, if it was your mother, if it was your father, you would react differently. And now we can get an answer to that age-old question, because we know that Dom is triggered by the title. He's triggered by everything, so he's trying to go through whatever lengths he can to try to prove them different. And the point is that Pitchfork isn't doing anything excessive. They presented a title, and they presented a short-form audio clip to... Yes, was the audio clip, did it sound bad? Yes, but they didn't chop it up. It wasn't taken out of context. You keep using this word and it doesn't make any sense. They didn't, if they had manipulated that audio, then this would have been completely different. We would be having a completely different conversation, and you would be absolutely right. Had they not written the literal words fight in that article when referring to his stabbing, if they had just said there is a tattooed man out there, police said, that is going around and stabbing people, then what you said would be absolutely right. There is no doubt about it. But they said fight. And since they said the word fight, then that already involves all of which you are discussing. You're showing us that there was a conflict. They mentioned a conflict. Do you understand what I'm saying? They mentioned a conflict, so there's nothing dishonest about what they're doing. There is no issue here. This is a greater topic that is being discussed along the American landscape. Wake up. It's what's happening in the world. And this kid is unfortunately being exploited to discuss that topic. He's not being wrongfully accused of anything. If you want to make an argument and say you shouldn't bring up his name, but Dom, you've created so much content based on XXXTentacion. In the algorithm, you have kept him alive in death. You have contributed to articles like this being relevant. You have contributed to the algorithm because you have made about 20 to 30 to 50 videos about him since he's died. So you've contributed to the reason why this is relevant today.
This is crazy. Since when is defending yourself a crime? This man is not here to defend himself, so they can just put whatever dirt or whatever on his name. And people say, let him rest in peace, Tom. Let him rest in peace. Bruhs. How can he rest in peace when people are putting out propaganda like this, lying on his name, having him look like a monster for no reason at all besides the hatred that they had for him? This is one of the reasons why X liked me, because not only did I show the good, I show the bad. I try my best to remain unbiased.